Yes, we are back again. Welcome back to Expose News TV. All right, if you're joining us for the first time, remember to subscribe and turn on your notifications. All right, we are going into the news directly. Yes, a political earthquake has struck this time. Yes, coming from, of course, none other than the Donald Trump talking about the zoo government ties to terrorists, Boko terrorists. All right, my people will be going straight into the news. Yes, this is what it says. Trump drops shocking revelations about the zoo military's alleged ties to Boko Haram and other terrorist groups. In a bombshell speech that has sent shockwaves across the globe, Trump has one way or another talked about how or spoken about how the zoo right high-ranking officials in within the zoo government, Nigerian government, have been connected one way or another, funding and protecting zoo terrorists while using military forces to oppress innocent civilians in the southeast. Okay, let's continue. My people, this one is quite, of course, quite mind blowing. Okay, during a televised press conference, Trump he unveiled classified documents and intelligence reports, allegedly proving that billions of dollars meant for national security have been funneled into the hands of terrorist organizations, and of course, which the zoo government were part of the nations that were involved in this. And of course, these funds were used to fuel instability one way or another in various nations. And the zoo government was part of nations that were called in, or were the Nigerian government. Yes, we are part of the nations that were called. And of course, it's saying here that we have evidence the zoo government and various other nations, because of course, we are not, the Nigerian government isn't the only nation that is doing this kind of thing or has hands in using terrorist organizations like the Boko Haram and so on and so forth to do or get involved in things like this. And the world must wake up. That is what he said. My people, it is no longer a joke as this man has actually put his hands into things like this. Okay, the US president further calling out a top zoo Nigerian official widely refers to as Musa. Of course, we know who Musa is. Everybody knows who Musa is. As he has been also accused of being one of the key people working for this thing or working towards working with the terrorist organization. My people, one way or another, we have always known that. In fact, the first insight that should have been made known to the public was when Boko Haram had been active, doing a whole lot of, causing a whole lot of harm in the north, bombing and the rest of it, kidnapping, causing a whole lot of issue. And within that same period of time, something about the Biafra movement and Biafra liberation came up within that same period of time. And my people, guess what happened? They were able to tag the Boko, no, rather, they were able to tag the Biafra movement or Biafra agitators as a terrorist movement, as a terrorist organization before Boko Haram. And that was where it all got fishy, because within that first time, this was the first time around the first time period where Boko Haram had come out. It should have been during Jonathan's time or before that, and there were possible hits, and it was very, very tremendous. It was very, very terrific, because of course everybody was surprised at that point. And at some point, all of a sudden, they were bombing and causing problems, and then something happened. I can't really remember, I can't really recall, but talked about Biafra movement and everything. And they had the guts to come out on the news and announce that Biafra, anybody related to Biafra or the Biafra movement, everything is a terrorist government. And at that point, they had not even called or declared Boko Haram a terrorist organization. That was when it all got, I mean, to the public, of course, people that were deep inside already knew. But then, when it all got known to the public, was when a whole lot of people, it got a whole lot of people thinking that how would you announce and declare Biafra movement a terrorist organization while leaving a set of people, Boko Haram, that had been killing people, bombing, causing turmoil, and you had not mentioned them at all. My people, it was very, very heartbreaking at that point, but then it was one of the first sightings that would make you come to understand that these people were very, very fishy and they had something going under their drawers. Yes. As this Trump's revelation has gone viral, it has caused chaos and it has caused issues in the country, of course, in Nigeria. And the citizens have taken to social media and are actually demanding for answers. But of course, we would never get an answer to this particular plea because, of course, they are in charge of the social media one way or another. And whatever they want is what would happen. Meanwhile, inside zoos, corridors of power, panic has set in, and government officials have scrambled to discredit the claims of everything that has been done. My people, that is what you would expect. But let us have it in mind that none of this would stop. None of this. I repeat, none of these issues are about to stop. It's actually about to get higher and more heartbreaking. Let us just get ready because at some point,
Fulani cattle raiders known as Fulani Herdsmen Terror Group invaded that very area in Hamufu and then buy lots of people and set their village ablaze, only for the Zoo Janjaweed terrorist army to arrive there and started collecting phones from individuals who dared to video and record what happened. The Zoo Janjaweed took their phones, all of them, the ones they could see, took their phones, and up to today, their phones have not been given back to them. So, the person who wrote in previously said it has been corrected. Okay, good. Thank you. That means you are genuine. So, it is very, very important to let our people know. That has also brought me back to what I said yesterday during my live broadcast when I said, if you want the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you also need Biafra at the same time, pray fervently. I said, pray fervently for the immediate release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. And that is the reality. You know the reason why some people always call me names and they say that I am arrogant is because of my boldness, because of how I say things the way they are, and because of how I do not look anybody's face before saying the truth. Now, excuse me, we are not going to go further to read this. I have brought it to your notice. When you lay your hand on the video, if there's any other place or person that you want to send it to, you are always welcome to do so. Now, that being said, we are going to delve straight into today's matter because not working on. Remember, I showed you some videos yesterday, which we are going to be analyzing this evening. Kindly, of course, do the needful by letting others know that we are live and direct. Very, very important.
Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And
he said, oh my goodness me. He said that many people thought that the U.S. is is giving fund or aid, is giving aid to these disenfranchised people or third world country, like African countries and some of the countries in Asia, like Afghanistan. And this man, his name is called Scott Perry. Scott Perry, looking looking at the whole people, looking at everyone in the house, eyeball to eyeball, telling them that you are funding terrorism. And this is not AI generated video, this is real video, because I have the full video where members of the US Congress were speaking their minds, including, some things concerning the concerns of this very man. I watched the full video, but this very one is the main thing that I want to talk about this very briefly, this very moment. So, this man, as an American politician, said it to the whole world that America is funding terrorism in these unstable, how do I put it? These countries that are not stable. These countries that have been tormented by the activities of terrorist groups like Nigeria. And he equally mentioned the name Boko Haram. I don't want to analyze it now because I'm going to play a video from one, one social media influencer who is equally famous at this very moment. Very dark man. So I'm going to analyze this video with what very dark man has to say afterwards. Because it seems like a lot of people do not understand, even though we have been shouting from morning. Yet, people did not understand what is happening. This very statement was made a couple of days ago, going to 1 week now. Yet, the executive of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom government, or should I say the presidency, has never issued any official statement concerning this very allegation. And remember, this allegation was made inside the US Parliament, inside the US Congress. In the United States of American Parliament, that is where this statement was made. Are you getting me? But are we surprised? Are we really surprised? While Barack Obama, under his supervision, not Barack Obama, I think, okay, Barack Obama fired Saddam Hussein, if I'm not mistaken, or Chastel, or one of them. But it was under the presidency of Democrats that this whole thing was happening. If you listen to the full video where others were talking, you will understand it better. So, it is clear to us that the West, be it European countries or America, are the brain behind the terrorism that has ravaged African continent today. It is in the open, even though they deny it, they keep on denying it. Britain, America, they all know, including France, especially France even. These countries are fully aware of what is happening in Africa. They fund these things, they fund this terrorism, they give them huge amount of money, and you may ask, oh, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to, let me reserve it. I will talk about this later on today. So, when they fired Gaddafi, just like as somebody said, Igbo first, Obama fired by Muhammad Gaddafi. I can't remember under whose supervision or leadership that that Muammar Gaddafi was, assassinated. But I know it is still under the leadership of Democrats. So, what am I trying to say? We all know this. We know that the West is involved. But there is a simple question which we are going to ask today. Very simple question. And we're going to leave that question when I'll be analyzing the video made by Very Dark Man. Yes, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Yes. So, I have a lot of questions to ask, but I will reserve it when I'll be analyzing the video that was made by the Very Dark Man. Let's continue.
It's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism. This has got to end. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
You are paying for terrorism. That is what this man is saying. And he is talking to America that they have to stop it. Are you getting me? So, if no matter how evil a people or government might be, yet there are still good people. There are still good people. Because every former the for John Adi, among the 12, that was Judas. Are you paying attention? We are live on 2 different platforms. One is Biafra Unite in capital letter. And of course, the second one is Biafra Unite TV, our sister channel. Now, this man has spoken. I didn't even analyze it. I did not analyze it. But I'm going to use VDM's program to analyze this very video. Because it's very, very important. And then we are going to jump into the Musa's conversation. Remember, of course, the title of this very broadcast says, "Fear grips Asorok. APC government exposed." Yes, APC government exposed. You understand? Remember that headline, so that when I will be talking about how APC government was exposed, which through this very video you see, I haven't said anything yet, but I'm going to say something. Through this video you see here, APC government has been exposed through this very video, but I'll tell you why later. Remind me, please, in case if I forget. So let us jump into Musa saga and stupidity so that we can be able to know what is going on.
Annual lecture yesterday, but he didn't disclose the reason behind the visa denial.
There's an event to honor our veterans, those that were injured during battle. Remember last year, the Duke of Sussex visited Nigeria with his wife. Through the Invictus, they have a foundation that they try to raise the morale of troops all over the world that have suffered one form of deformity or the other in the course of defending their individual countries. So we're supposed to be there. And actually, half of my team have already gone, but unfortunately, the Canadian Embassy, for knowledge best known to them, denied us visa. So I wasn't sure, and so I wanted to be silent about it. But when we couldn't get the visa, I said, this is blessing in disguise.
Musa, I want to tell you this evening that there is nothing like blessing in disguise. If ndị Igbo na-akpọ ife anyị melụ now bụ onye ọkwalụ ọjụwa ma ọ na-eju afọ. Yes. You came to do damage control when we already know what happened. I'm talking to you, Musa. The Canadian government understands who you are. They know you very, very well. The Canadian government knows you very, very well. And they also know the atrocities of the army which you command. Because, let me tell you something. Now, when you are a leader or commander of a certain organization or government, and your subjects, not even your subjects, those that are under you, those that are directly working for you or with you, are going about doing something very, very evil against the public or against the followers or against, a group of people or a person. I want everybody to know today that that leader or the commander is fully in support, not just aware, not just aware, no. I will give you instances. That leader or commander is fully in support of what his direct followers are doing. Those who are working for him or working with him are doing. That leader is fully not just aware, no, he is fully in support of it. Because if you are not in support of this, you cannot allow those under you, those under your authority, to do what they are doing. This is very simple philosophy. Are you getting me? So, Musa cannot come out and say, I did not know that my men or my boys are committing act of terrorism. No, spare me of that. Spare me of that, please. Spare me of that. Spare me of that. I don't want to hear. I don't want to listen to such. You understand? Because it takes only but one word, stop, It is just one word: stop. Let me use myself as an example. When the DOS Irats started attacking Mazi Simon Ekpa, I'm using my own self now as an example, and I would want those of you listening to me right now to confirm what I'm saying. When they were busy attacking the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, that time it wasn't even autopilot. At that time, there was nothing like autopilot. I want you to pay attention. This attack started immediately after the rendition of our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It didn't take more than 1 week. This attack started. And within that 1 week, that is when they were busy calling Mazi Simon Ekpa for meetings after meetings, because they were having issues with Oyibo in America. Are you paying attention? The DOS under Chike Doziefa and Chinasa Nworu were fighting against the woman in America, Madam Oyibo, because Madam Oyibo was in charge of American account. You understand? Oyibo was in charge of Umueri account, which was very, very huge, which has a lot of contributions. All the donations made in America when our leader was touring America, including when our leader announced that everybody should be contributing $1. All the, imagine 3 million Biafrans in America. Although I know it's more than that. But imagine 3 million Biafra, or even 2 million, or even 1 million Biafrans in America contributing, because I'm sure everybody will not contribute. But imagine 1 million Biafrans who are contributing $1 per day. In a day, you already have $1 million. Isn't it? In 30 days, you have $30 million. No. A day, in 30 days, you already have $30 million. If a day gives you $1 million out of 1 million people. So, they knew that Umueri account was rich. And they confronted Oyibo to hand over the account to the leadership, according to them, leadership. Oyibo Ekwechiri. And this thing was happening immediately. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was renditioned to the zoo. The time Oyibo Ekwechiri that she would never hand over Umueri account to them, they now gang up against her. They were busy calling PM for meetings after meetings every blessed day, because they knew that PM has a voice and he might be an obstacle to them, especially if Oyibo, mistakenly grab him. Then that will be the end of DOS. Every time on that meeting, Mazi Simon Ekpa will be asking them, what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? What happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? How did this happen? And why did we receive the news from the zoo? None of them answered that question. They were busy telling him, come on our side first. Come on our side. We want to work. We want you to work with us. I'm giving you pure instances of what I'm talking about. Now, when the Irats began this media war against our PM, I called Chike Doziefa on live broadcast, not once, not twice. Those of you who were there, I want you to start confirming what I'm saying in the comment section. I was calling them out every day. Please, 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 leadership, control the situation. Warn these your boys to stop this attack. because this is not what we should be facing now. This is not what we should be doing now. What we should be doing is to find a way to increase the battle, the fight, in order to break the hands of the zoo to release our leader with immediate effect. All my calls for complete 1 month fell into deaf ears. Meaning what? What the boys are doing was what they were sent to do. Are you paying attention? That is, I'm giving this illustration based on what Musa is doing, or what Musa said. Are you getting me? So, thank you, Ajibo Sunday. So, now, you cannot tell me as a commander that you are not just aware, that you are not in support of the terrorism of your boys, those under your command. No, you are in support. You don't just know, but you are in support of it. That's why the DOS did not